Hello, and welcome to episode 16 of A Pathetic Podcast. I am Christian, and I'm joined, as always, by the beautiful Patrick. Hello, Patrick.
What the fuck's up, YouTube? If anybody wants to maybe check out what I'm doing and nobody gives a shit about what anyone else is doing, and please don't even follow the fucking podcast, please follow at ScentedGladbag on Twitter.com.
And then immediately unfollow it,
And then
please.
follow me the fuck back, because that's a shitty fucking bit, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, but today we're joined by our first video guest, but a couple guests in now. I told you guys we were actually going to get guests. Our guest today, he's a good friend of ours. We've known him for a good long while. He's the vocalist of one of the most ass beater bands in DFW, and he's a fellow Drape boy. He's one of the boys. One of the 90 boys.
I'm the original 90.
So he actually gets all of our stupid jokes.
Yeah, he's part of the OG 90 crew. Well, and it's funny because to talk about the Drape place that we worked at, fuck it, it's Quest Drape. We all worked at a place called Quest Drape for a while. Like, we've always been like, what are we protecting? Am I gonna worry about my job there or something? We for a period of time, there was half the local music scene was working at this Drape place, because you could literally be like, hey, I'm going on tour for 2 weeks tomorrow. Can I have a job when I get back? And they're like, I don't fucking care, because there's 10 other people that wanted your hours so badly. Yeah. So I think at one time we had you and Ian from their band I Am. Yeah. We had, I think Ryan Kirby was working there. Bob had worked there previously. Matt from Kublai Khan. Fucking who else? I mean, we weren't a band anymore.
Eric worked there for a while.
Eric, Brendan.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, dude, Brendan, everybody. Fucking
Jason ended up working there too.
Really? Afterwards, dude, that was inevitable, because he would always end up coming up and hanging out with everybody out front of the place. I'm like, just put in a fucking application, dude. You're gonna work here.
But anyway, it's Andrew Hileman. What's up,
man?
Yeah,
sorry.
Hey.
So I did warn him that the first time you do this on video is really fucking weird, because you feel like there's like an extra person in the room that's just staring at you. It's almost like somebody's holding a mic at you, like, and you just aren't saying shit. So, or they aren't saying shit. So I know this is probably super weird, but it's just what it is.
It is what it is. Just make out with a mic and enjoy yourself.
And don't worry, they're going to be staring at my beastly Shrek figure over here with my oily, shiny fucking forehead.
Very beautiful style.
God damn it! Thank you.
Dude, I noticed I was editing last episode, and I noticed how fucking white we both are.
Dude, bro, I noticed that as soon as I walked in, dude. I was like, dude, y'all are fucking white.
Dude, we're the white. Like, if I take off my shirt, like,
look at my dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, can we look at this shit, dude? And the thing is, funny story. I spend all of my time in the fucking sun, and so I'm always a varying shade of red or white. But like, okay, you know how, like, say, if I held, like, there's white walls in this room. Say I held up something that was bright red. You can kind of see the red on that wall. If I take my shirt off in a room, I swear I can see, like, the tone of the room get, like, a shade lighter.
You eyes adjust to it.
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic. But yeah, so we've known Andrew for a fucking while now, man. Like,
it had been like 5, 6 years. 6 years.
Oh, funny story, man. I actually met him in 2009.
I've known you for way longer.
I played my first show. There was nobody watching. My first show in a metal band called At the Gallows, and it was with the first version of I Am was called Tales Tell Lies. Yeah, and that's when I met him. So that, I mean, it's been about 10 years, man.
Fuck.
But yeah, so I met Andrew at what was the most wonderful place to work in the entire world. My favorite job I've ever had, Quest Drape. And how did you get that job? I don't even remember.
It was one of the other band guys.
Ian, someone got Ian a job. I don't know who he was talking to, and then he told me about it. So I quit cleaning pools.
That's right.
Went to work there, and then he was like, "Fuck, dude, it's not enough money." I was like, "Why the fuck did you tell me to come work here?"
Well, to be fair, like
that was like the first week. So
yeah,
like, obviously you're not gonna get a shit ton of hours first week.
Even if you got a shit ton of hours, they knew that. So the way it worked is you get stuck in a cycle, because dude, I'm just taking these glasses off because they're fogging up. So they knew that
You're excited, bro.
I'm just so fucking nervous. Oh my god. But they fucking they could siphon our hours to the point that we would be desperate for everything they could give us. So that would turn into like a Thursday through Sunday 60 hours. So the way you would make a living wage is to just work so much overtime your fucking body fell apart. Granted, it was great for my body. I was skinny as shit because I was lifting weights for a living all the time.
Yeah, straight up.
But
I remember sleeping at the fucking warehouse.
Oh, dude, so many
sleeping at the
drape
top.
blankets. I walked in there one time and it was our friend Jacob worked there as well, and it was like you and Jacob just under drapes as blankets, just sleeping in the warehouse.
Dude, you got to go get that 10-foot plat and just wrap yourself up in it.
We there was one time in that I was talking to, I think, Hunter about this the other day. There was one time in that office that I walked in there and someone had left a can of Axe, like the body spray in there. So I emptied the whole can of Axe in the office. and people were just like, come on, dude. Like, and I'm just like, oh, no, I'm not stopping. And like, nobody could breathe and people are like running out into the warehouse because I emptied the whole fucking can of Axe.
Dude, we fucked that place up.
Oh,
honestly,
absolutely.
though, it well deserved.
After 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
dude, that place is a fucking madhouse.
Do you remember? Were you working that time that? So I know we talk all the time about Hunter Alley. He plays in Resonate, and actually Absence of Mind, which he's put out again an amazing fucking game changer record. But there was one time that I think it was you, me, maybe you were there, Hunter, Brendan from Facing Worlds, and Mark. And we got back from a job that was just such bullshit, and we had all these fucking end pins, and we literally showed up and we just started throwing plates, and we were throwing end pins, and we literally fucked up the entire warehouse.
And keep in mind, these end pins, they're like 16 inches and they're metal.
Steel.
They're like hollow metal. And so we're like throwing them up against like walls and shit like
They get
that.
stuck in the fucking walls, bro.
Through the drywall.
I'm pretty sure there's still one stuck up in there.
So there was one time. There was one time that that I threw one so hard that it went through the drywall, but we never heard it come down, and I was so paranoid that it burst through the drywall of the adjacent office and like landed on someone's computer. Do y'all remember the water thing?
Oh yeah, I was just about to. Dude,
Oh my fucking god!
there was this one time when it was just me, Hunter, and someone else. I forgot who
Not
it was.
even Mark. It was probably Mark.
Yeah, it was
Probably. No, it couldn't have been because Mark was a baby, bro.
Dude, Mark was every now and then down for the debauchery though.
He was, but now, dude,
It was only after like if we were working for a long while when Mark would start to get like in the mood to be foolish.
But no, Hunter fucking filled up the round table full of cupped waters, like,
and then knocked
and then
that
the
shit
other table, the big rectangle one, full of cupped waters.
Oh my god!
And they had carpet, and he's fucking threw the whole thing on the ground.
So he said that.
Yes. And then he got a fucking chair, turned it upside down, and started squeezing the water in the carpet. So
Okay, so by the way, he sent me that video like 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm gonna have to text him to send it to me again.
Yeah.
Lately, he's been just sending me videos of him hanging up blankets on a wall as part of his job. Doesn't say a fucking word. Just will send me like a 5-minute video of him just doing his job, and then just send it. But that whole thing started because we had to work a couple weekends, and I'm trying not to peek this up because I was laughing my cock off. But there was a couple times where I would send him a video of like me walking around like holding one of those little cups with 2 hands, just being like, oops, and just dropping it. And then so he started one-upping it, and he would get like a whole bowl of water and then just drop it on the floor. And then I started getting like whole pitchers of water and just dropping them, and we're like slowly pouring them out. And by the way, this is on the carpet in the office. This isn't like
It's
outside where
carpet.
it evaporates.
It's
It's
not-
straight up like carpet. Like, dude, because dude, we were just so fucked by that place that we just didn't care what happened anymore. And so Hunter, he just stopped. He put a stop to it all. So this is like a family dinner table. It was like a round table, and it literally, dude, it had to have been 200 little like fucking those little clear like opaque white cups full of water, and they just knocked the whole table over and just wrecked the whole office. And it was the most fucking that is the most wild animal shit I've ever seen in my life. That I was like, I literally can't do anything about that. There's nothing I can do to top that.
remember that time you started throwing popsicles?
Well, dude, that sounds right, but I don't fucking remember.
Dude, he took because they used to buy us popsicles
Yeah.
in the freezer. And he'd take them all out. He just started throwing them, bro. Dude, we flipped the couches all over.
Dude, okay, so Mark and I always tried to outdo each other on wrecking that place, and I remember too, like keep in mind I was also about some Adderall at the time, so I was being a wild animal on top of everything else, and I was in better shape, had a lot of energy, and also was just like I was at a phase in life where like. Actually, Whitney, my wife and I kind of romanticized this time, even though it sucked really bad, is where we just had nothing to lose, so fuck it. We're just going to act like fucking idiots, and it was so
dude,
fucking
even before
fun.
you met Whitney, we were just so much on the fuck it train that we just did not give a shit about anything.
But we're not like stealing TVs from Best Buy. We're just fucking shit up.
Well, I mean, there were some.
We're getting away with shit that we can never get away with anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. But I even remember you remember the smoking section in the back, like that. You go at the back, and there's that. I remember lighting so many fucking fires in the back. Like I would just play with my lighter, and like you remember it had like the wall, and it was kind of like porous in between the walls, so the grass would go through the wall. Yeah. So I just fucking light the grass on fire in the back all the time.
Remember when Nick made a flamethrower to kill the wasp?
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh, so I saw.
Remember you put through that wrap and it broke the light?
Oh my god!
Everybody fucking ran.
We're getting too much into the point where like we're talking about shit we know about. So allow me to paint the picture for you here. So we worked at this warehouse job. It wasn't doing, and it was labor too. It was both, and we weren't getting paid shit. And we were always off like 60 hours of labor. And I'm not talking like throughout the week. I'm talking like 40 hours straight, and then like one night to sleep at home, and then just go for it again the rest of the week. So we were delirious. We were mad. We were hungry, and we were just saying fuck it. So there was one time we were there, and I attached, it was a cardboard handle. It was basically like a thicker version of like a paper towel holder, but it had like saran wrap or something on it. And this is so fucking like telling this, I feel like such a fucking idiot. But I put the wrap thing around the handle of a broom. And hey, by the way, fuck both of y'all for this shit. But, so hey, and shouts out Frank. I'm gonna send this clip to Frank later. I'm gonna send this clip to Frank later. Frank Dank, dog.
Frank Dank, bro.
I try to sling this handle across the warehouse, and I end up slinging it directly into a fluorescent light, and just it rained down shards of glass into the warehouse. And everyone else was worried about getting in trouble. Everyone just
the managers were all in the office too. Everybody was in. This is daytime. Oh my god. This wasn't nighttime.
No, this wasn't like 8 p.m. We're like, fuck it, nothing's gonna happen. This was in the middle of the fucking day, and then everybody just fucking splits and leaves me there. And so I'm like, fuck y'all. But good old Frank Dank, dude. Frank Dank, Red Donkey, something or other on Twitter.com. He stayed there and he helped me clean that shit up because he's the. And by the way, if I were to hide a body or something, I'm not fucking calling either one of you. I'm fucking calling him because he's gonna be like, bro, I got you. Dude, y'all just dug something up that I buried deep down, man. You fucking piece of shit, motherfucking assholes. Okay, and a weird. Sorry, I'm talking way too much because this shit is fuck. I haven't talked about this shit with any of y'all in years. But the funny thing about me working at Quest with you two is that y'all have both, more than any other person, have witnessed me ripping more pairs of pants than anybody on the fucking planet.
Dude, that one time you were rolling up that fucking
at the Fort Worth Convention Center.
Screen shit, whatever it was called,
dude. Okay. So tell me from your perspective what that looked like.
Dude, Shirley, you bent down and I saw from the top of your shorts rip all the way to the front of your shorts. It wasn't just a small little crack. It was.
The way I describe that is, okay, so it was Jewel Ball in Dallas, and we used to hang all the drape for that at our company.
What was that shit called?
Jewel Ball.
No, the fucking screen shit.
Oh, I don't know. It was literally just a giant projector screen that we had to hang up. And this thing, no joke, it was probably like 200 feet. It was like a huge fucking screen. And so it was all made out of cloth, and our job is to roll up this giant cloth screen and somehow get it packaged back to how we got it. So at one point, it's the middle of the night. I'm acting stupid. I'm delirious. I probably
had to have been like 4 or 5 a.m.
It was like in the middle of the night, and I roll over there trying to make everybody laugh, and I ended up getting laughed at instead of making everybody laugh because I bent over to grab this screen, and literally like they call them pants plural. I had a left pant and a right pant when that was done with, because like from ass to front I ripped them in half. Dude, if you had like a slow-mo camera on my pants at that moment, you'd see like pieces of fiber like flying off and like 100.
It would have been very exaggerated.
See, I think I'm thinking of a different time. I'm thinking of the time when we were at the Fort Worth Convention Center and we were rolling up those big things of drape, and to be funny, you were going to fall on top of it, and as soon as you fell on top of it, your whole fucking thing just split open.
Here's the thing. Pretty much the same story.
Yeah, basically.
Because, like, and,
why the fuck do you rip pants so much?
Here's the thing, dude. It's not like back then, it wasn't like the fat guy ripping pants, because I was in good shape back then. I wasn't fat yet back then, and I was just always fucking ripping pants, and they would be not like cheapo pants. These would be like a $60 pair of pants, and fucking I ripped so many of them, and like every single time it ruined my day because like y'all are laughing at me. I'm fucking like, but everyone probably had to smell sweaty balls in the car because I'm wearing ripped pants. I would have to like wear a flannel tied around my waist all day because you can't go back. You know what I mean? You can't just go back, like just my balls are hanging out all over the place while I'm hanging drape, and like there's something that's so insult to injury when you're working a job that's not paying you shit, you haven't slept, you haven't eaten, and your pants are ripped in half. It's like held together by a belt.
Dude, I got a good pants ripping on mine one time. I was on a job with JP one time, and you remember?
Dude, I saw JP like 3 months ago.
Oh my god,
he's driving a semi truck.
Of course he is. Well, he was doing that. I thought he started doing that whenever we were there.
I don't know.
He was in school for it, I think, when we were there.
I would file JP under like A, funniest person ever, but also B, most likely to see is at an Ozfest type event.
Oh,
just because of his look.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I was on a job with JP, and you remember how he used to do that thing with the tall drape where he'd take the whole pole out first and then yank it down? So we were doing that, and somehow, like on those older poles, the metal would kind of bow out a little bit. So it was one of those, and it got caught like right here on my crotch and just ripped the shit out of my pants right there. And I was just like, fuck it. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I don't even care.
It just what pissed me off, and it's not like we didn't work with other tall people that probably had special pants, is that I ripped more than anybody. I went through at least one pair of mine.
You ripped a significant amount of pants.
And it was always like, it was probably, okay, I figured it out, solved it. It's because I was always making an ass out of myself in situations that makes your pants rippable. Like, you remember the
yeah, it was never when you were just working, like,
never,
like doing your fucking
so
job.
Like, oh, fuck, I ripped my pants. It's always me trying to make y'all laugh and in turn making an ass out of myself. Like, the last time I remember it happening before I left is, you remember the Sheraton dock that was, like, impossible to back into, and, like, the column was, like, saran wrapped together and shit? We'd all been eating bananas beforehand, and so I just started throwing bananas up onto the top of the rolling door where they would never get them down. And the last one, I was like, watch this, and just threw it and just and like, dude, I immediately am like, haha, just the rest of just like, it's not funny.
Oh man, that was fun. Well, Andrew, at least for you were actually touring while we were working there, so it wasn't like it wasn't a consistent.
I wasn't there all
torture.
the fucking time.
Yeah, because you guys. I guess you guys were already touring by the time you started working there, right?
No, we'd done like
we'd all done like those 2x4 tours and stuff.
Yeah, like small little tours.
Yeah,
nothing significant.
Yeah, I remember like, I feel like it was probably like a year into you working there, you went on like a significant tour.
Yeah, that was probably that. Maybe that KubaCon one.
It was a KubaCon one.
Yeah, because like nobody was there. Because all the workers were actually on tour at that moment.
Oh, that's right. Because it was Eric, Matt, and then you and Imran, and like that's everybody. Like 2 of our drivers were gone. You know, speaking of y'all touring, there's been a couple times where I've seen a tour that y'all have gotten recently, and as someone that just I guess knew you before all this started really popping for y'all, it's so I'm trying to get in your head and be like, I'm touring with the Acacia Strain right now. Is that not fucking, or like Despised Icon, dude?
Yeah, it's fucking
like,
weird.
It's
dude, like, when we got that email for the Acacia Strain, like, I straight up asked our booking agent, I was like, yo, did they send this to the wrong band?
Is this real?
I was like, did they get the wrong email? Well, they're like, no, like, they want.
I feel like I just have that point where I'm just like, okay, cool. So I feel like if I were in that position, I'd be like, yo, if this all stopped right now, we did something. Like,
that's how I view it. You know,
but
done
you guys
more
are,
than I thought.
You guys are like going strong though. I mean,
dude, yeah.
Yeah, like
we just got our first Europe tour, and it's
that's
insane.
dope.
Really? Who's that one with?
I can't say.
Oh, okay, that's good. Hey,
that'll be fun though.
No fucking breaking news on here.
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
But yeah, it's funny too because like I saw a picture of you, like I think it was some goofy, like I think it was like a hardstyle pose you're doing a Vincent from the Acacia Strain. I'm like, this is so many weird layers of my life, like something I was listening to every day in high school, and then someone that I've known since high school, and they're just doing the same thing together. And I was like, I think it's really dope because the 2 bands that I saw just absolutely like, and of course got better. It wasn't just because y'all did this, but the 2 bands that I saw just absolutely grind it out and make it happen no matter what is you and Kublai Khan. I am and Kublai Khan. And the what astonishes me the most about that is even a single member change changes the dynamic of the whole band. Like for example, when Tyler and Matt left Findings, way smaller scale, but when Tyler and Matt left Findings, and then we got you and Devin, it was a 100% different vibe. So how does I Am continue to still be the same or be I Am when you guys are like, I mean, I feel like you're kind of in your final form now, but I mean like as you've changed members over the years, like how have y'all continued to still be the same band, or like, at least I lose motivation if shit gets too different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it gets to a point, definitely, like whenever you're on a scale of doing bigger tours and like doing something with it, that like stuff like that doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Because like you're not with these people like 100% of the time.
It's more
Besides
something
touring.
to lose. I guess you have a little bit more to lose.
Yeah,
In terms of like a job, I mean, like you're invested.
It's a, you know, at this point, for us at least, it's a start to our career.
Yeah.
You know, so
exactly.
like, it's more looked at as like a job.
It's funny.
You know,
That's interesting.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm on message boards or Reddit or Twitter, even outside of our like local scene, it's weird for me whenever I see y'all pop up, and it's because I remember both of our bands is like the bands that would open shows at Phil's and nobody would watch us, and everybody would like go
Yep.
outside, and then like Mouth of the South would headline or something, and everyone come back inside. But it's funny how. Like I said, dude, Kublai Khan, the first time Corey Anguish brought them here, and nobody ever realized that he brought them here. You remember Python Madness?
Yeah.
It was Python Madness and Kublai Khan, and I think Tuesday Aggression played in the back room of Phil's to nobody, and Matt was just throwing down so hard. But when Kublai Khan played, we were like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" It was when BJ was still in the band.
Yeah.
And it's funny because just like y'all, nobody was watching, nobody knew who they were watching them, but they just kept touring, kept playing shows, kept making music, kept doing whatever they had to do, and that's so crazy.
That's what, like, yeah.
I feel like you can kind of get that vibe though from bands that do that, because like whenever I watch you guys, I can tell that y'all actually like genuinely give enough of a shit to have put in the work for it. You know?
No, yeah, for sure, and that's what, like, I mean, we've always looked up to Kublai Khan, like, you guys are like good friends, and
like
shit.
big bros.
Yeah, you know, like they're our big brother, and like they've helped us out in ways I can never repay. So like I owe a lot to that band.
I think there's kind of this new, and correct me if I'm wrong because you're a lot more involved with it than I am. It seems like there is a bit of a new wave of like taking in these younger metal bands that are starting, these up and comers. These bigger bands are starting to take them out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like fucking dude, Despised Icon.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
Dude, that's fucking.
Yeah.
I literally
Like never, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
like,
well, think about it. If you told 2010 you that,
Yeah,
you'd be like,
no.
you're fucking with me, like
Dude,
you're full
yeah.
of shit. Yeah.
Straight up, like never. And like that's what whenever Kublai Khan took us out on their first big headliner for Nomad, like that's what they were doing. You know, they're like, hey, like, you know, we want to take y'all out. You know, we like y'all a lot. So they were talking to me about doing that stuff. So like, I definitely, when we get to a point, want to start doing that for other
Dude,
bands.
please do
too,
that, man.
you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. I think that's like one of the biggest things that I like about like just having music in general. I mean, there's some subgenres that are not quite as nice, but yeah, I've tended to notice that like in a lot of like heavy scenes, there will be like the kind of take you under your wing type
Yeah.
situation, even just for like people going to shows.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like the younger kids will come in, and the older guys will be like, hey, this is how we do things here. And
But
it's
also,
like,
I've noticed a huge resurgence of like new kids coming to shows, which
Yeah.
is insane. Like, it
Yeah.
is so sick.
I was talking to him earlier today because so whenever we stopped, like we were so small scale very beginning, but whenever we were really really taking it seriously, I mean fucking 9 years ago whatever, we were it was something that I feel like you had to show up and you had to prove that you were allowed to be there.
Yeah.
And especially and back then because I joined that band Hindsight for like 2 months, I started getting involved with making friends with a lot of people in the hardcore scene. And back then I felt like I really had to be someone's friend or
yourself.
prove myself. And it was so super cool because there's been a huge shift in not only the sound, there's so many cool bands coming out, but especially in the hardcore scene. We showed up to a show last week and dude, it was just open arms, and it was super artistic again, and everyone was just super fucking cool. And I'm like, dude, this is like the shit that made me want to get into this in the
it
first place.
legitimately reminded me of like back when we were doing like warehouse stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like when I first came to the warehouse, I hadn't been going to shows, at least not like heavy shows, for a long time. But you know, everybody at the warehouse was just so like, yeah, man, just come on in, have a good time.
Everybody was
like,
okay with being themselves.
Yeah, and
It was like a big hangout, yeah.
yeah, and I do remember a period of time where it did not feel like that for a
No,
while.
it was
Like,
definitely
there
wasn't like towards the end.
Yeah,
Like,
there
for
was
sure.
there was definitely a while where it was
that
just like,
that big man, tough guy, macho
Yeah.
attitude took over big time.
and that's such like a shitty feeling too when you're like a younger person or like somebody who's not quite
don't know the
involved.
I mean, I'll
yeah.
say like that affected me a lot too. Like,
Really?
because like we were, you know, Tell Lies was a new band and shit, and like, you know, towards the end of it, like people just like were like, oh no, like we don't give a fuck.
Well, you
Right.
know,
I was like, you know, as a young fucking, what was I, 16,
Right.
17? I was like, fuck, dude, like this sucks.
Well, and also too, man, like you, like, not, I'm saying you generally, like, people that it's so hard for, I think, young bands and new bands that really there are so many ropes to learn, not just personally between people, but in terms of making a better sound and doing it better.
Yeah.
That it's funny though because there's always the guys that are gonna be like, these guys fucking suck, and it's like, dude, it's their third fucking show and they're playing on like they're playing like a line 6 that they got for Christmas. You know, like chill the fuck out, like let them try.
Yeah.
And so I think it is important for that. I mean, Every Time I Die's been doing this for fucking years, but trying to be like, yo, dude, instead of being like, you fucking idiot, you aren't doing this right, being like, hey, this is how it works. And again,
dude, I've noticed that a lot with like these bigger bands like that we've been touring with. Like they're talking to us and like
they're a cool guy in you. They're literally like, hey, yo, dude,
not at all. Like they're the coolest fucking dudes, and they're like, hey, you know, like try this maybe, or like, you know, like I see you doing this, but like, you know, maybe do something like this to fucking, you know, up it up a little bit. You know,
I've always wondered.
They're giving advice, and they're not like.
Not just being like, oh fuck you, you're the opening act or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I try any of our musician friends that are doing that successfully now or up and coming. I try not to punish them too bad with the music talk because I'm sure y'all talk about this all the time. But it is interesting. There's questions that I've always wanted to ask like that. I've always wondered when you go tour with somebody who like you feel like almost like you know them in a way, and they've never met you in their life. I've always wondered what that vibe is like when you first get together with them. If it's just super fucking weird, or if it's just like everyone's usually like, hey, like do they actively usually try to be like, hey guys, what's up? Come on, you know? Like,
dude, yeah, that's one thing I'll say. Like I've never toured with a band ever that's been like standoff or push. Like they're like, nah, like you're like the new guys, like fuck you. Like everybody's always like welcome arms, and like they're always wanting to get to know you like right off the bat.
That's so sick because I never would have expected that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I just
ever.
Yeah, I mean, I just
like they're coming up to you first, like saying, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm so and so. I'm so and so." You know, it's cool.
Yeah, I think that's really cool too for like we've been saying, a band like you guys who've been working so hard at it, because it's like I feel like just that. I'm not trying to speak for you or anything, but I feel like just that by itself, like a bigger band being like really cool, is like, oh, my hard work is actually worth it because you know, fucking Acacia Strain is like, hey, what's up, dude?
Dude, no, yeah, like straight up, like when we got that Acacia Strain tour, like I was like, this is like, you know, like you said, like,
like you pulled
10
something
years ago,
off. Yeah.
you never like,
worth it.
you never even that thought never crossed your mind.
Dude,
that was something that was like, oh, dude, like. One day, like I would pray, I would hope I get to tour with them.
Dude, getting like a half-packed house at like the door Fort Worth was like, we did it, boys.
Yeah,
we
that was like
boys.
was like, fuck, dude, like that's next level shit.
Like, dude, we're playing Ridgely Metal Fest and we don't go on until 9:30, bitch.
We don't open. We're playing second this time.
I actually talked to Neil from Yesterday's Today a couple days ago.
What?
Quest Neil, and it reminded me of how like when y'all were like a straight up like deathcore band way back in the day. I remember he used to do this perfect impersonation of like this ape dance he did on stage. And so now, like, honestly, all of our friends, like, I keep up with everything y'all do. Like, I'll watch y'all's live videos and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, and when I watch y'all's performances, I'm always like, I see a little bit of that in there. I'm just like, there it is.
Just a little bit.
But I think it's cool too because like you can tell when like if a band, regardless of what the audience is doing, it looks like y'all are having a good fucking time.
Yeah.
And because
that's what I want.
miserable,
you know, I feel like when you're watching a band, like you're trying to entertain people. Like you want to keep their mind stimulated at least a little bit. To where they're like, even if they don't like your music, like, okay, yeah, like I like watching that band live, or they were fun to watch, but I'm not into it. You know, like at least you got something out of it.
I don't know if you
entertain them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I guess we could. On the green screen, we could put up 2 separate album covers. So y'all put out Hard to Kill.
Yeah, that was.
Which, by the way, I kind of want to call this podcast, this episode, Hard 90 Kill.
Hard 90
I think that might work out. And so there's Hard to Kill, and then Creeping Death, which is y'all toured with recently. They put out an album, or they put out a new song from their upcoming album called Bloodless Contamination, and it was also you said it was the same artist.
Yeah, the same artist.
And it looks like y'all are both living in the same cave. So the reason I bring them up is, and this is kind of transitioning again into the classic punishing metal interview questions that I'm trying not to do, but I'm so like it's nice to hear your perspective as someone I fucking know. So I was talking to Eric from Creeping Death. He had like a little Thanksgiving thing that I went and hung out at, and y'all just gotten back from that tour together, and I was like, yeah. So what do you think I am? He's like, no, they're really good. He was like, they really are taking this turn towards like, I hope this makes sense, like metal, not like. So it's funny because you can see like especially with the album the other day that had Sacred Cries on it. God, I can't believe I'm forgetting.
Life of Torment, yeah.
Life of Torment, yeah. So you can see like the elements of what y'all used to do in that record, and then you can see the elements of like what y'all are becoming. Was there some moment that you guys decided like, guys, I kind of want to play something that's, was it natural, or is it more just like, hey, dude, let's sit down and talk about the fact that we want to take this in a little bit more of like a death metal-ish direction, I guess?
Yeah, it definitely came a lot more natural than we thought, because like we definitely didn't want to write the same fucking record with Life for Torment, and then you know, we are like, we did that thing where, you know, we sat down, we're like, okay, like let's pull from like what we're listening to, you know, like on the daily. So like Tom would just fucking, you know, write something that sounded like Black Sabbath, or you know, fucking
I hear a lot
like
of that.
Slayer, you know.
It's funny too because I said to you earlier, I Am has gone from like big varsity font front shirt type music. I always talk about dangly ear music. I talked about, what are my other types of music? Dangly earring music. There's long t-shirt music.
There's the live shot on the back with the font.
Live
with the
shot,
text over it.
And then there's also long t-shirt music, which are bands like Shouts Out Garrett Parza that go foul, patout, out, and there's shit. That's long t-shirt music. And then so now y'all have gone from big font on the front of a t-shirt music to wallet chain music, and I think that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
But I want to know how long, because most metal bands that stay around for years and years and years, eventually, and there's many cases here, eventually the vocalist gets some shitty Shadows Fall dreadlocks. So I'm wondering how long you guys have to be a band. So I'm thinking maybe if we're talking like 2029 and I Am is still
Another
fucking
10
killing
years.
it. Okay,
Another 10 years and I will get dreadlocks.
Dude, hey, don't fucking forget this YouTube.
All right.
Fucking.
You got receipts on this.
This is a fucking. We got receipts on this
You got
bitch.
receipts.
10 more years of I Am, and he's getting. And I'm not talking like well done ones. I'm talking.
No,
Like, there's like one that's like a
nastiest-
big one that looks
the
like a
one
sausage.
That's this fucking big.
Like, dude, hair sausage. He's gonna have hair sausage dreadlocks, and that'll be from not washing his hair and 10 years of I Am. And you're gonna see it. His hair's gonna get a little longer. He might start styling it different, and then one day he's just gonna boldly come out there with it. Shitty Shadows Fall dreadlock. But no, I thought that was interesting because whenever y'all put out that first single from Hard to Kill, I was like,
What do we put up first?
oh, God, I was listening to it in the car. It wasn't Paid in Sin.
Paid in Sin,
Yeah, so
yeah, Paid in Sin.
I told you, man, I try to keep up with y'all shit, and so I was listening to that when it first came out, and I was like in a good way. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the? So, like, I guess knowing y'all's whole history, but I think it's really cool, man. I think it's cool shit.
Would you say were you guys able to like avoid like something I've noticed for doing something for a long time is you always kind of hit that lull, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like when you do something for a long time, eventually you're just like, fuck, I'm kind of sick of doing the same thing. Were you able to avoid that with the sound change a little bit?
Yeah, but that happened before.
Really?
Yeah, that definitely, at least with me, that happened. It honestly happened on that Nomad tour. For
Really?
me. Yeah. Just really weird. I don't know why.
I feel like it's impossible
I hit that
like,
moment,
get
and I
away
was
from
like, dude, like, I don't want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this shit.
Right.
But I do that a lot. Like, I get in my head a lot whenever
think-
we're on tour. Like, it's not even about being on the road, because I love being on the road. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes you get in that headspace where like you're like, oh fuck, I ain't shit. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't doing nothing. Like,
Yeah.
nobody gives a shit. But like,
Well, I feel like anybody can get that because I get that from my job.
yeah.
Like,
and it's
just,
always like right before we play or something, and then after we play, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like,
right. You get like excited.
Yeah, I'm like,
during the
okay,
show,
like,
yeah.
I'm fucking stupid. Like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this shit.
There was a time that we were on one of our shitty DIY tours. I don't think you had joined us yet, but we were playing in Virginia Beach, which is like Confederate
Oh, yeah.
flag city of the fucking planet.
V8, take them to the beach.
Dude, and so we played there at a place that was like a Mexican restaurant during the day and like a hardcore venue at night. And right before we went on,
What was it called?
Oh God, I don't remember, dude. It's been so long. But
The
y'all might
Shaka's?
have possibly. Y'all might have played there. It's
Probably,
very
maybe.
possible. Y'all played fucking
I'm
everywhere.
pretty,
Y'all toured
I
all
think
the
they got a
fucking time.
seafood restaurant downstairs.
Possibly. It was close to the beach or whatever. But I remember right before I went on there, my ex-girlfriend called me and she said, my mom was talking to me and we just think that you don't have any direction in life. And that led to me, dude, playing that show. And it was like, dude, I'm fucking, at the time I was like 20 years old. I was on DIY
You're a
tour
kid still,
across
bro.
the country. And I remember playing that show just like,
That's horrible.
I was literally like, I'm
That
gonna
is
go home and get an
awful.
op shop immediately. But it's like, I can't imagine, because I'm sure like on a way bigger scale, like you're so deep into it at this point that like whenever you do have these I'm not speaking for you, I'm saying this
No,
is
yeah.
how I would feel.
Yeah.
If I'm on that transitional period where it comes from like playing those club tours to 10, 15 people to starting to play bigger club tours of bands like the Acacia Strain, where you're like on this transitional of like doing bigger things, that's when me personally, once I start succeeding at something, that's when I start getting like existential crisis as fuck. Like, what the fuck am I doing here?
So Pat,
Yeah.
if we start gaining listeners after this episode from Andrew Swag, then Pat's gonna quit the podcast.
Yeah.
God, you know what? The only reason I brought you on here,
Yeah, that's the only fucking reason.
there's two reasons I'm on here. One is to get people to follow at Scented Gladbag on Twitter.com, and the other reason is to pimp out my metal friends so that I can post them to subreddit, so that I can quit this fucking god-awful goddamn piece of shit podcast and be a person on my own. Because I want to be an influencer. I want to have free sunscreen so that I can advertise it on my Instagram. She's like, are you sick of being pale as shit? Are you sick of being a varying shade of red 365 degrees? Yeah, you're drinking it. You're like slow motion, like,
I wouldn't even be mad at that point. I'd be like, this is worth it. This
this is useful. Like, just, dude, I want to, literally, I want, okay, I remember when we were working at Quest, and that one day that he and I both got hired at a job that actually paid a middle-class wage, I was like, I remember I was working with you that day, and I kept fucking with you because I was like, oh man, I'm leaving y'all's ass behind. Money, big money, here the fuck I come. Y'all can stay here. I mean, it's chill, but like, y'all, and I was like, God, I can't wait to be so rich that I remember y'all, but when y'all are like, oh, Patrick, do you remember me? I'm like, no.
You're talking about coming in with a fucking suit and
Dude,
shit.
just like,
Check in on us.
See about walking in the suit, just swagging on my friends, just fucking.
And then your ass came back.
And then 3 years later, 50 pounds heavier, I quit that job and was like, hey, can I maybe pick up some shifts?
Yeah, I remember when I first got the middle class boy job. I was just like, I was feeling so good, and then like right at the end of the last day, I was like, shit, do I really want to do that?
Well, it's
Dude,
funny.
nobody really leaves Quest.
Well, to be honest, man, like, I know that we were tired and we weren't getting paid much and like we worked crazy hours, but we had fun. Like, we honestly, it was literally like hanging with your good friends.
That's what. Whenever
all day.
everybody left, I was like, damn, dude, this job fucking
God, dude, that must have,
sucks now.
dude, yo, that
can't
must. I
imagine.
didn't think about that. We all left within like a year. That shit must have.
Well, because they just hired a bunch of temps, and then the temps stayed, and like, it was just like, it was not the same vibe.
Did everyone have to get drug tested because one of them left like a gram of weed in the bathroom or something? God.
Yeah, and fucking
I worked with him once.
Elias,
He was going.
Yeah,
got fired. Frank Dank.
Is that why he got fired?
No, he got fired. Oh no, he got fired for leaving the fucking door unlocked.
Yo, Frank, if I
And
ever.
he was on the clock for like 6
Oh
hours,
my
and they
God.
caught him on camera, like just chilling.
You know what's funny though is that I feel like if you were like a Quest elder, and I had been working on and off at Quest since 2011, they let me do whatever I wanted. There was one day I sat on the couch and played 8-ball pool for 7 hours, and nobody said shit to me.
See, I fucked up taking promotions because like once you start getting promotions, that's when they're like just fucking
buckle it down,
riding your
dude.
ass, dude.
Dude, I was in the sweet spot. They'd put me on those Cody shifts where we would get like 12 hours, but we wouldn't do shit. We'd go to like Jack in the Box and shit and just chill like.
Hell yeah.
While where he's like calling everyone, be like, "Hey, y'all gonna have to do this shit by yourself." And it's like, all right.
There was like I don't know if you guys had like the strange periods of like doing the same thing all the time at Quest, but there was like a weird period for me where me and Mark would go out all the time. It was almost always me, Mark, and Hunter, and there would just be so many times where we'd go to that 7-Eleven around the corner and like smoke cigarettes in the parking lot and just be like, "Oh my god, what are we doing?" Like just
I thought that was
miserably.
every fucking day. Just fucking
But it was
like,
specifically me, Mark, and Hunter for like probably like a 5-month stretch where we
Yeah.
were just every single night we would just go to that 7-Eleven and we'd just be like, "Oh my god, what are we doing?" Okay, let's go.
dude, night shift was the worst.
Yeah, especially when you're already off like a bender of a shift, and then it's like, oh, we got to go do this again. You're just like barely awake.
Yeah.
You're still straight edge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so props to you for staying straight edge. Well, yeah, you know, I'm not. Speaking of which, Trevor Engel in Germany got me a half heart shirt that says Boston Straight Edge on it, so can't wear it. But
Well, I have a hoodie that says Boston Straight Edge on it.
yeah, I have that
I've
true
worn it.
shirt. Yeah, fuck it, I'll wear it. But props to you for staying straight edge amongst because there was a way that we coped with Quest, and that was tobacco and alcohol. So there was just a bunch of alcoholics, so like just a bunch of smoking alcoholics that were just like, oh, I'm just gonna get through this day, and you were just like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed off 3 hours of sleep, like let's go.
Yeah,
We're all just like,
I don't know how the fuck you did it because so many like last bursts of energy for me were because I
Came
went
from
outside and
that.
smoked like
Yeah.
3 cigarettes and came back inside. I was like, all right, I can do this now.
Speaking of straight edge, I think that does a lot of good things for people.
Yeah.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're good.
Because I didn't shake the thingamajig.
It's fine.
Fuck it. Okay, well, there's so many people that straight edge is a good thing for them, and it does a lot of things for them. But I'm glad that you have not made that 100% a part of your identity. Like, I mean, it is, but I mean, like, it is part of your identity. Like, I mean, it's tattooed on your neck. But I mean, like, you're not wearing like X swatches and like break face all the time. Yeah. Well, I guess you probably did wear break face. You did wear break face, didn't you?
Yeah, I wore it fucking yesterday at the gym because I found my old black tank top with a break face. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
I was about to say,
I wore this today.
He did wear break face because I remember, like, You did fit the starter pack of a mid 2000s deathcore frontman, which was you had the big earlobes, you had the big old plugs like the big uns, and you had the sleeveless shirts, cargo shorts and or gym shorts with the stripes on the side, dude. Like, you know that shit.
Breakface made the fucking straight up shirts with the stripes on the side. I have a pair.
Hey, shouts out Breakface. I mean, that was the attire of half of our scene back then.
Yeah. But, that's like all I hang out with now. It's like my best friend.
I haven't talked to. The most I keep up with I don't think I knew Steve, by the way. But the most I keep up with any of those people is just online because my life has gotten so just like, dude, I live a very like calm, lame adult life, and so I don't really talk. It was great to get out to that show, but I don't really talk to people in person that much anymore.
Same, honestly. Like, I don't fucking do shit. Like, when I'm on, because like I guess because I'm on the road and I'm with so many people all the time that when I get home, dude, I'm fucking.
You don't fucking
shut
talk
down.
to me.
I'm like, dude. I'm at home.
I'm just like that on a daily basis. This is the most social interaction I ever have.
This podcast. That's why you started this podcast.
Exactly.
So
I needed to talk to people.
The good thing is, though, is like, I mean, there are good things that comes out of this. Like I mean, even friends that I used to be around you every day, or I used to be around, Jimmy Green every single fucking day. And people, it does give me a reason to be like, yo, hey, come do this thing. Whereas normally I would have just been sitting in my house. Like, it would have been a very friendly drunk text from me every 6 months about how good your band is doing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, grilling in the backyard.
I don't mind those.
Hey, I don't mind those. I'm going to keep sending you sweet drunk texts about how good your band is doing.
I don't mind those.
Because I get into these modes sometimes where it's like, dude, I really like, there were periods in my life where I was like, that's what I thought I was going to be doing. And then I realized it wasn't, and not in a bad way, I just realized it wasn't going to be that way. So when I see, like you and Bob and Matt, and it's like, have actually been doing it, I'm just like, yo, like, dude, when Fit got on that tour with Every Time I Die, I texted him and I was like, dude, every time I die, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, dude, I get that all the time of like the proud sibling thing.
Straight up, dude.
You're like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you guys.
So proud sibling. But now, me and Bob's texts these days are pretty much like, hey man, are you using neem oil or what for the aphids? Like, and I'll just be like, yeah, and I'll be like, dude, you got to get the Alaska fish fertilizer. It is the best organic nitrogen source ever because we're plant people now.
God.
Yep, that's your one hobby is plants.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have it. I play hockey on the weekend, so that's like my one
I got
hobby.
Motorcycles.
Dude,
nice.
You
gotta
are
have
so
one thing.
fucking metal. It's not even like, dude, like literally. Okay,
he's so.
Dude, you are so fucking metal, dude. I see you have dude. I see you. You got long hair. You're fronting a metal band. You fucking got the boots and the chains, and then you get a motorcycle. Dude, you look so fucking hard. Like, dude, if I saw you passing on the street, I'd be like, that guy takes a bottle of whiskey to the dome every fucking night. Like, that guy is so fucking metal.
I wish I was that cool.
No, it's different because I always say that, like, some of the hardest bands you hear, their vocalists are like the sweetest people. Like
absolutely.
Like you and Matt are like two of the nicest people I know. And it's not saying that you're not human beings. Like he's not
an asshole.
He's not. No, he's not. Matt's not an asshole. But no, I mean y'all are. Like they're always good people. They're not people that would be like, "Would you look at me sideways like that?" Not saying y'all aren't human beings. Like
Catch me at the right time.
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't not get mad, but like in general, you're not like. I wouldn't be like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Pat." You wouldn't be like. You know what I mean? So it's different.
I hate
like,
this.
yeah, I mean it's. Oh, speaking of ass beater bands, y'all need to check out Fists of Fury.
No,
I know you have. Dude,
we
it's
played
so
with
good.
them that two months ago at that fucking TNT Fest.
Oh, dude, how was that, by the way?
Literally, like that was one of those moments that I had that I was like, going from playing fucking 10 people in DFW to 1,300,
dude,
that night. Like,
you know how you're there? Y'all had lights. If you have moving lights on stage, and I'm just
dude,
like,
it was
lights.
You made it.
insane, dude. I could not fucking believe it.
Y'all had a great spot on that too. I mean, y'all were pretty big on that ad.
Yeah, it was us, Bitter End, Power Trip.
Crazy, dude. That's so. I heard that venue is really fucking hot stay in for too long. Wait, was that Greek Gas Monkey or whatever? Or was that?
This was the Gas Monkey live. The
Oh,
inside
okay. I was
one.
thinking it was
It was
what's that place that
fucking
Howard
nice.
Trip played that huge hometown show a couple months ago? It's like a venue everyone bitches about. They all hated it. It wasn't. Also, I
It
thought
could have been Gas Monkey, the outside
Yeah,
one.
the outside.
No, it was. They said it was just shut up. Also, yeah, I didn't know there was an inside and an outside of
Yeah.
Gas Monkey.
Yeah, I went and saw Kubla-Con a couple years ago at the inside one, like a long time ago. Counterparts played that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. So whenever we were working at the Drape place, you remember John, right?
Yeah.
So John, was it his cousin Lee or whatever? Like his cousin started the company, and one time it was that tour that it was Amir. It was like Amir the Acacia Strain and like Kublai Khan was on it. Fucking, we got Matt to wear a Quest shirt on stage, so there's all these like professional pictures of him taking just playing this metal show, and we showed it to John, and John was like, "We can't be having the logo on stage for someone." I remember he was like,
"Oh man, guys, what are you doing?"
he was like, "Man, we can't. I don't know if I like that too much." But it's funny though because like
Fucking John.
Matt was still fully like in like metal mode on stage, and he was like, "Shout out to my boys with the fucking Q," and like there's like 10 of us in Quest, like yeah.
That was one of the best things about Quest, though, is that like the fucking meme culture that existed there translated over.
Yeah,
into
how
the-
did so much shit come from? Like,
Because you spend
don't understand.
You spend enough time around a bunch of people that are existing friends, and they are
That is true.
delirious.
Yeah.
We're already buddies.
It wasn't
so-
like we became friends.
Yeah, I mean, we
randomly.
became better friends because of it, but I mean, like,
But like
it was.
we all kind of knew each other, at least a little bit, you know.
And also, it was a bunch of people that were just about some goofy shit. So,
Yeah.
like, I guess coming from the music scene and everything, everyone was still down for some goofy shit. I mean, Hunter was a huge advocate of just some debauchery. So, like, God, dude.
miss
I
Hunter.
fucking miss Hunter, man. I talk about him so fucking much. Have you heard that Absence of Mind
I
record?
miss you, Hunter.
Yeah, we miss you, buddy.
Miss you.
I'm gonna fucking send that shit to him, man. He better miss the fuck out of me now. You better send me twice as many videos. That he's in a band called Resonate that just put out some fucking really good shit. And then Absence of Mind, dude, that shit is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, he's another one that like I've been getting like really bad proud sibling mode from him lately
And
just because all the shit he's
going
been
to
putting
fucking
out.
was it Japan? I think.
Yeah,
they're going
that's
to fucking
fucking dope.
Japan.
And I think that's like I think it's like them in Modern Color, and then God, who's the
Yeah.
headliner? It's like a bigger headliner.
I can't remember.
I think it was Modern Color.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, that shit's so good.
Yeah,
Also,
insane.
I love the how
Insane.
and a bunch of people that are like OG hardcore people hate this, but I love the wavy shit that's going on hardcore now. Like I love like the fucking flangers and shit. I am the huge.
Well, that's what I
fan.
feel like. I feel like more people have been getting into like themselves
Yeah.
lately
Yeah.
again. You know, like they're not afraid to fucking do some weird shit.
I think-
which is what I missed about all that shit. Was like it was weird. It was
Yeah.
fucking out there.
It was something new every time, and then
Yeah.
like I kind of like y'all's brand. Oh God, I'm sounding like a fucking like YouTube metal channel. Like, what's up, guys? We're here with Metal Bangers.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? I got Andrew here from IAM. We're gonna ask him some of the toughest metal questions you've ever heard. But I was just like, but like, so this next question feels like one of those because I was like, number 15. So I was saying like, what feels like one of those questions is like, you guys kind of have this brand of Texas Death.
Yeah.
I know you say it at the beginning of your set and everything on that. What is that song called? The intro song?
Texas Death,
That shit's
yeah.
fucking cool. But you guys do kind of have a unique sound there, and you have a little bit of elements. Like I was listening to what was it, Slow Burn or
Burn Slow,
Burn Slow.
yeah.
I was listening to that on the way here, and it even has some of the parts like the fast like alternate
Yeah.
picking. I'm just like, dude, this shit's so cool. But you guys kind of do that in a unique way, and then bands like Creeping Death, a bunch of young guys putting out really good death metal out of Denton, and like there's just so many bands that are doing, and dude, bands like Absence of Mind, like that shit is so like
Yeah.
people are less afraid to branch out because I guess you kind of have the kind of comeback of these genres after all these years, and then you have the years where everyone's just protecting what that exactly sounds like.
Yeah.
And then you get like a generation or two comes after, and they're still playing that, but they're influenced by other things without shame. So then you start seeing people being like, fuck it, I just want to make it sound cool. And I was talking to someone that hadn't been at a show in forever, and they were like, man, our scene used to be so cool. And I was like, no, man, I went to a show last week, and we're actually in one of the best places the scene's ever been in. Especially with Cedric running like Central Arts with his dad. Yeah.
Central Arts, yeah. Yeah, that was actually really. I had never been there. We went to that show last weekend over there, and I'd never been there previously. It's like a
They got the
cool
projector going
local
the whole
place.
time.
Yeah, that's
fucking
like it's like actually a legit good local venue, which we fucking needed desperately in this area for so long. Ever since really since the warehouse, but I mean since Phil's closed down.
Well, it's really artsy too. Like there's another purpose to that place other than to be a hardcore venue, which is I think another reason that we need to protect it and make it last. And it's also ran by people who are a part of it.
Yeah.
It's not just a promoter renting out a place, and I think that is super fucking important. I think that's really, really important.
Shitty promoters of fucking... They're the death of scenes or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it's just like the business side of anything always kind of interrupts the good stuff, you know?
How business has IAM become since y'all had to sign a deal? Really?
I mean, like...
Y'all can still do your own thing. Like you can like is anybody like I don't think the song's gonna work?
No, 100% creative control. Like,
okay, see that's all.
We have nobody like telling us that, but like there's definitely like shit that I never thought like we'd have to be doing. Like
the transition of being a local band to becoming
like money
a brand.
is such a huge deal.
Well, and also I heard too, like somebody put this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody put it to this way because I was talking about like these bigger bands. Like, say you're just Blink-182. You're no longer the band that's called Blink-182, you're now kind of a brand name, and there's mouths that are being fed off of that. So it's like it's not like I'm not saying you guys are making everyone all their money or anything. I'm just saying that like it's weird that is kind of a transition because I mean now I'm sure there's like you're doing videos and I'm sure you're doing a little bit of press and stuff. I mean this podcast is just one off because we had a guest drop and I was like oh shit maybe Andrew wanted to come on so I drunk dialed him last night and he showed up but God that'd be so fucking weird. It would be super fucking weird for me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely a trend, but like you said, like it is something that like helps feed us and helps pay some bills.
Absolutely.
So like
it's like I'm gonna pimp him out on all the fucking subreddits.
And Pat and I are like big boy jobs that we have now are both in marketing. So like I feel like we can like understand and see how the shittiness of like the business side of things can creep into stuff because like when you actually do marketing. It's so noticeable how like everything with marketing is just fucking bullshit. Like it's such a fucking hassle.
Yeah.
Yo.
Luckily we have like a team that's like super real. They're not fucking. They don't like fake shit. They don't like.
Well, you can do your own thing too. Like you can make your own music is what I'm saying. I think that's the most important because y'all are you're still enjoying it. You know what I mean?
No, like literally, I'll say this all the time. Cause like I listen to Hard to Kill almost every day still.
Dude, okay.
Like, I love the music that we put out.
I think it's incredibly important I think if you don't jam your own music,
dude,
or I listen to our podcast
that
absolutely.
Shit all the time.
Then you don't like it, then you're not making it for that. Like, dude, if you're making music, it means, and you made that music because you like the way that music sounds.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to listen to that and be like, that's fucking, like, be able to jam your own shit.
We were on our buddy's podcast a couple weekends ago, Jimmy Green, and he was saying that like, if you're not entertaining yourself, you're probably not going to entertain anybody else.
No,
so, like,
it's like that thing. Like, if you're not enjoying it, like, while you're playing it, other people aren't going to enjoy it.
Dude, I laugh at myself all the goddamn time.
That's pretty much all we do is just laugh, at you.
That's I just don't get how bands can write shit, put it out, and, like, play it for 6 months out of the year and not enjoy it.
Well, dude, I've had like the period of time
and not even make money, like at a status to where they can make money. They're just doing it because
scratches a different itch.
Yeah, I had a period of time where like I'm not gonna fucking like blow this shit up, but I joined a band for like 3 months, and I fucking hated the music and I hated the fucking because they like they were one of those bands that like you have to wear a fucking like you have to wear a certain thing at every show and you have to like we're gonna take promos this weekend and you better be wearing this and your hair better look this way and shit like that, dude. And I was just like I was very much. I'm glad it happened when I was so young because I realized I was like, dude, this type of shit is not for me. But then I joined Findings afterward and people wear fucking basketball shorts every show.
Dude, we were kind of a bunch of drunk wild animals. Oh, a couple things. I feel like you keep elaborating on stuff and then I start like cutting you off because you keep talking about things I'm amped about. So sorry, just tell me to shut the fuck up.
Hey Pat, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck Patrick, dude.
Just fucking go.
But also follow @scented Gladbag if you want to keep
and
up.
then unfollow @scented Gladbag.
And then follow right the fuck back because this is so goddamn stupid. I have a suggestion actually. Now, I know that you guys sell a lot of merchandise. You sell some swag the fuck out shoulder bags. I know that, Varials is selling like axes and flip-flops and shit.
I was left behind with that.
Left behind, yeah, that's right. Have you guys thought about maybe selling like Herbalife or maybe some essential oils?
God damn it, Herbalife, bro.
I think maybe
I am Herbalife.
you guys can make like $7 million a week if you guys just sell some I am Herbalife.
We get a crew, we get a street team to run door to door.
So like I want.
We did make knives.
Did y'all really?
Yeah, we made hard to kill knives.
What is going on, dude? What the fuck is going on in metal merch? Okay, so how many stupid fights have you seen between idiot people at metal shows? Probably 7,000 since we've known each other. So make weapons.
Yeah, bro.
What the fuck, dude? You know, some trashed 17-year-old is gonna stab a guy, and then that's gonna be prohibited.
So we got those knives on a tour we did with Unearth and Fit for an Autopsy.
Again, another two bands. Jesus
crazy.
fuck,
Yeah. And then I guess Unearth like had a problem with it, like on their tour. So like I hit them, like I just had the box out and I said, "Ask me about this box." I get it. And so I guess they hit up our manager and was like, "Yo, they can't be selling these knives." And like I went up to him, I was like, "Dude, come on, like just come up to me. I'm right here. Like you can just say you don't want it." I sold them anyway on their table.
Imagine being like, Unearth is mad at me. You know what I mean? But like literally,
Unearth tattletale on me, bro. They tattletale on my knives.
Like, dude, someone's gonna get fucking stabbed because like.
Well, someone did get stabbed not with our knife.
Oh, okay.
But at the Colorado show, someone got stabbed apparently.
So okay.
Not with our knives.
So you got a track record of people getting stabbed at your shows, and you're gonna, hey, did you hear that the guy got stabbed at our show?
Honestly,
what kind of merch should we make? Honestly, it is kind of.
You know what? I actually even remember going to the show. Do you remember the? I saw somebody posting about it the other day. The Edge or Not show in 2012. Did you go to that one?
God!
You guys
yeah.
No, I didn't go because.
Real talk.
Yeah, and those kids like fucking cut the like 16-year-old or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like towards the end of the show.
Insane.
I didn't go because I was bitter.
Fireworks.
Oh yeah, that was nuts. Yeah. I think
the flag got
Wes posted on Twitter his video of it, and I realized while I was watching it that I was literally standing directly behind him. Like I was like he was standing up on a chair and I was standing directly behind him. And the reason I remember that is because at one point somebody throws a chair and it hits
that was
like
when
right
like
where the camera did.
FSU was like a thing.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they were there.
The very very tough
Really?
kids.
Yeah, because I remember.
I remember fucking Boston or something.
FSU came out to like some.
They came to a few things.
Yeah, it was like some. I think it was like King Conquer, Murder, Death Kill or something, and like someone got stabbed. I think.
Do you know that the rapper Shakewell was in Betrayal?
No.
Dude, he's a.
Well, you said that to me before.
Yeah, we talked about it one time. Yeah, dude, we used to always it would be like Python Madness and I Am and what Murder, Death, Kill, or Betrayal. Dude, there was one show. I don't know if y'all played it, but it was like the early version of 100th with Betrayal and Python Madness, and I think Kid Liberty played it too. It was the weirdest fucking show as that feels. But okay, so before I go off on too many tangents, there is one thing I Am related that I want to talk about. There used to be, and I give this person some credit for I give this person 100% credit for any success that you've had. I feel like this person took your band to the next level as your mascot and launched you into the goddamn stratosphere and set up everything that you have now. Now there used to be, and I had a picture that I put on my Twitter today that will probably put up on the green screen, but there was a period of time where there was a man who would get on stage with y'all, and this is it was when y'all were like a smaller deal, and then all of a sudden people really started paying attention to I Am, and really what the locals call him, because he's kind of a staple of the 2015 metal scene, is Shirtless Sunglasses Man.
Oh yeah.
And he showed up at Tomcats one time. And there's a little bit of photo evidence. He's actually Shirtless Sunglasses Man is in one of your music videos.
It's like it's like Bigfoot.
He is in one of your music videos.
Yeah.
He is like Bigfoot actually. And I mean, so what? Do you have any memories of Shirtless Sunglasses Man or any thoughts on his existence?
Yeah, he actually showed up to Quest a few times too. I'd be working and
I've seen him out in the wild a few times. Yeah, absolutely.
You seen him working? He's just up in the fucking 20 feet in the air.
Not even talking.
Lift.
Like sometimes he'd be in like the press box. I saw him at the press box at the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah.
Would you say that he was shirtless in exclusive places?
He was.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I would say that. Shirtless in exclusive places, indeed.
There were times that y'all would be playing, or Bloodline got signed, they'd be playing, and he would just stand on stage, not an expression, not a word. Usually, like maybe his hands crossed like this, and I feel like that
I mean,
people would not.
Whenever the label
him.
hit us up, they were like, "Dude, like this shirtless sunglass dude, like
Absolutely.
what? Where did you find him? We need him
like,
for everybody. Like,
tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more.
I mean,
oh my God.
please."
And of course, you had to have that conversation with him. Like, he's just too hard to track down, guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of
Like I
those
said,
things.
he's Bigfoot. You know?
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
Look, he's not signing any fucking paperwork. That's for sure. But they were like, look. You were
can't
just
get
a
him
regular
in-
metal band to us, but something caught our attention. And what? Oh, that shirtless sunglasses man. He's not going to sign any fucking paperwork. No, but I mean,
Can't get him in a room alone.
No, you can't. I think his last actually the last time I saw him around was for was Sacred Cries music video.
Oh, Life of Torment video.
Life of Torment video. Sorry, what Sacred Cries was the? Is it the?
We didn't have a video for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the last time he was seen. Some say he was throwing chicken tenders into the audience during that. But,
I mean,
at least we can say that he's going to be in the Life of Torment video forever. And some say he has a striking resemblance to @Scented_Gladbag on Twitter.com.
Yeah. I have noticed that. I've been trying to track him down myself.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's thank you.
I know some people that know some people.
Thank you for bringing that conspiracy to the limelight. We needed to make sure that people knew about this Bigfoot-esque character.
Whenever Under Oath first came, before they were like back together, they would play some one-off shows, and they were playing a Third String Festival as like one of the reunion shows. And I thought about making a Change.org petition to get shirtless sunglasses on the stage with Under Oath. The thing is, though, dude, if I did that, I know that later on I would just be like, like when the music video came out, I was watching it and I was like, this is funny, but.
I feel like no band would give a shit.
Oh yeah, no,
absolutely.
they probably.
I think they'd love it.
What's funny is like, dude, you actually. It's not like something I warned you about.
TNT.
Oh, dude, it would have been so funny. I didn't even go, because I haven't been going to shows or whatever. But it's funny because like. I guess when you're in a band, you're so used to working around each other's headstocks and like mic stands and everything that like you didn't know I was gonna go up there, but I would do it and you just wouldn't miss a beat. You just like work around like it wasn't shit. Like the picture that we're gonna put up there is literally you're just like, and I'm just in the background just. And I think the sunglasses that picture had one earpiece missing, so I look extra ratchet as fuck.
Love that shit. Oh, so I completely forgot. We have to do the game.
Which game?
The fucking the music history game.
Okay, yeah, you set the shit off.
All right, so this is our one like metal YouTube top 10 type things. So we have a game it's called Personal Music History. You have there's different eras in your life, and you have to give it's like a quick fire thing. You have to give 3 bands or artists that you were listening to during this period, right?
Oh, fuck.
So,
You don't have to be the top, just 3 that influenced you in that period. Because I'm gonna say different ones than I said last time, probably. I don't know.
yeah, and it's just a quick fire thing, so you just have to like pop them off whenever you do it. So the different periods are what you listened to in your parents' car when you were a kid before you had the wherewithal to make your own decisions.
to choose.
Yeah, like just the shit that was on.
So the second one is when you first started listening to music on your own, probably like early elementary school. The third one is like in that weird gap in between like 4th grade and junior high, where you start like getting a little bit more like puberty hits and you start getting a little weirder. And then it's what you listen to at the beginning of high school, and then what you listen to after high school all the way up until now.
Okay.
So first
There's
one.
so many phases. I feel like that's more phases than the last time, so I'm probably not gonna remember them all. So I'm gonna have you lead it.
So the first one is what you listen to in the car with your family. So I guess I can go first, or me and Pat can go first, and then you can go, give you a little bit of time to think. So listening to in the car with my family, it was always Matchbox 20. A lot of that. A lot of. Well, I said last time, my dad listened to a lot of Rush, and then my mom listened to a lot of Bon Jovi. So that's my 3.
Okay, y'all's are gonna be so like cool. Mine are just like okay. So let's see. There was Christian pop group Avalon. there was early 2000s ABBA cover band A-Teens, and then there was and then probably like I don't know, like Rich Mullins or something. I don't know, like just some super Jesus singer, just like some super Christian contemporary shit that my parents were bumping at the time.
Hell yeah! All right, Andrew.
I'll list 2 from my mom, 1 from my dad. My mom was probably like Linkin Park and Nirvana, and then my dad was Sepultura.
See,
That's
such
why you're so
cool
much
shit.
cooler, dude.
No,
So
I
knew
will
that. I knew
say
that he was going to say some cool shit.
My parents had the greatest music taste.
Dude,
Like,
what the
ever.
fuck? No one in my
It's
family has a
fucking sick.
musical bone in their body. It's just me.
No, it's fucking sick.
I knew
My
his
dad,
was
Yeah,
so
his
fucking
were gonna be
dad
awesome.
he stuck his finger in a pizza grinder when he was a kid and like has a nub.
Just lops it off.
And he fucking plays guitar,
Really?
dude. He's just fucking shredding, dude.
Dude, I knew that you had such
So
a more metal
sick.
upbringing than me.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next phase?
All right, next phase is when you first start listening to music, so like early to mid elementary school. So for me, it's going to be, I think last time I said System of a Down. I'll give it to Linkin Park because I started listening to Linkin Park around that time as well. And then I started listening to Green Day at that point as well. So those are my three.
Okay, so mine are obviously going to be Blink-182. I'm going to give it to System of a Down as well because that's like your starter pack for
Same.
first metal bands.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third one is Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
God. I'll give, it has to be System of a Down and Linkin Park because my mom would listen. Like, that was our fucking
Hell yeah.
band together. That, and then had to have been America's Most Wanted, the Tupac
Oh,
CD.
fuck yeah,
I
dude.
found it
Yo.
walking home from the bus stop. Chip, like the CD was chip, like had a chip taken out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, I took it home, put it in my CD player, and it worked.
worked?
It worked for like
so
4
dope.
or 5 songs.
Yeah.
And like, that's all I fucking listened to. Like, that's it.
There was a period of time where I'd gone through a bad breakup. And I moved in with Christian, and we just listened to Tupac, like sad as shit.
It was the only CD that I had in my car, and my car just had a CD player. I didn't have an aux or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it was the 2-disc greatest hits.
Oh,
of Tupac.
man.
And so we
They got
listened to
some sad
that
songs
on
on there.
repeat all
Exactly,
the time.
Got some
because
sad
like I was all
songs
sad
on
to be like things are gonna get easy, and I was like, yeah, Pac. I was like, yeah, Pac, I feel you, bro. And then no, you had another CD, and it was the first For the Fallen Dreams joint.
Oh, God.
I don't think I had that in my car at that point.
Oh, maybe that was later on because I remember I would drive.
That
the
would
car all
actually
the
have
time.
been earlier. That would have been earlier.
Possibly.
I had because I lost that CD. I lost that CD before I left UNT.
Well, no, you got mad at me because one time I was playing that in your car when you let me borrow your car to like go see Whitney or something, and I had the music like cranked. So then you turned on your car later. It was like wah wah yo.
Like screaming at me. Okay,
okay.
so the next one is when you kind of start first hitting puberty, that weird age in between like 4th grade and like junior high. For me, such a bad period in my life.
Hey, mine got dark.
Yeah.
I got real dark.
Well, I just got cheesy shit. Like, I listened to My Chemical Romance at that point. That was like when they were first coming out. God, who else? That was like a really big Green Day period for me. I dove like super head. I was listening to Green Day previously, but I got like really into Green Day at that point. And then what's another really good one? Oh, fucking dude, the most embarrassing fucking band on this list.
Dog,
is
I
gonna
said 18s. Don't.
well, Aiden is probably just as
Dude,
bad.
I love Aiden. Bro, I love Aiden so
No,
much.
not both of you fucking.
Yo,
Hell
I
yeah,
fucking
dude.
love Aiden
Nah, dude.
Hell
so
yeah.
much.
So for my phase of this, it's so there was periods of time that were a little bit close to that were like there was like the more serious like emo screamo eyeliner bands, and then there was bands like fucking Aiden.
Dude,
So
they were like pinnacle.
So dope, dude.
no.
But what was funny though is Aiden, they were like really big for a little while because that Die Romantic music video
Yeah,
was on
yeah,
like
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
that's right. Isn't that the William
I remember I
Control
went to go
guys?
see them, and like I freaked. Dude, I was like front row.
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
dude,
Where
yeah,
was it
that's
at?
so
Who was
dope.
on
At
that
the door.
tour? Who was on
I
that
don't
tour?
remember
Was
who
that the
else.
one that Sky Airplane did with them? I'm almost positive.
Yeah,
Probably,
that definitely
it
would've
was
been that.
the Sky Airplane.
Okay, so this is when I was first getting into songs. So this is early 2000s, right? So this is when breakdowns were so like dun 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 dun. So I fucking
When they were pure.
back before we had eerie leads, and I fucking there was so I listened to. Did you just rip ass right now?
No,
You just straight up, you just farted. You just literally ripped ass in the middle of the podcast. Oh, you nasty. Okay, so y'all had like the Aidens and like the Alisanas and shit. I was listening to.
Alisana.
forgot about that, too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's like a different type of the same era. I was on the other side of that where I was listening to Census Fail. I was listening to I mean, still like, because Blink was put out that like kind of darker, kind of post-hardcore influence stuff then, so I was still listening to that Blink record, the self-titled. I was listening to Census Fail because they would have lyrics that were like, I think I said last time, like, the razor cuts the soft spot on your heel. And I'd be like, yeah. Like, I'd be like, my life was so, like, good when I was a kid. I'd just be like, oh, my life fucking sucks.
Dude, everybody did that.
So absolutely.
And then the third one is going to be, this is when I heard my first breakdown. And it was Red Wedding off the Bloods Past the Flask. That was my first breakdown ever. And I remember just being like.
See, that's a cool one. That's a cool area.
Dude, but that sound is coming back with, dude, have you heard Chamber?
Yeah.
Dude, like that sound is coming back, and I'm so about it.
Incredible band.
Hell yeah. All right, Andrew.
I got the same one where I've heard of my first like core band.
Yeah.
Like it was Demon Hunter.
You're gonna be like Behemoth already.
No, I was fucking Demon Hunter. I found my dad's CD of Demon Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
And I put it in. I was like, what the fuck is this?
They have
like,
a cult fan base,
I was
man.
like, dude, I've never fucking like heard something like this.
So that's your moment, right? That's like
that was my
like,
core moment. Like I was like, dude, like
so I want to do this.
This is fucking like And then that time period was definitely always Slipknot, and then I won't say Aiden because you already said Aiden. Yeah. But probably Marilyn Manson too.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's
I got
good.
real dark. Like I got into the real like more.
Dude, I latched on.
Trip Pants.
Trip Pants, like early Hot Topic shit.
I latched
early
on
Hot Topic
to
stuff.
after. It was after Slipknot had released the record with Duality on it. I latched on to Iowa.
Yeah.
Like really hard there for like a good fucking 6-week period where I was just listening to it nonstop.
Yeah.
That's such a fucking good record.
You know, actually, even now that still holds up as some heavy shit. Like that's still some
I
really
fucking
heavy.
love that record, dude. I would blast that
good.
all day, every day.
So good.
So
Corn too.
Oh, yeah.
I got
yeah,
real heavy into Corn.
Do you remember Braden? Braden was so about Corn, it was insane.
Oh my god, Braden, what happened to him?
I don't know. Every now and then, I end up talking to him. Like, I guess I'll be talking to like.
Does he even have social media?
I think he
I don't
pops
know.
up. He'll come up every now and then as Charles Waxahachie on something. And
Dude, he was so out there.
do you remember the group text? Like,
Oh yeah,
dude,
it was
like.
Yeah, this was
So
a little
out
crazy.
He would send videos of us. Braden would send videos of us walking upstairs, and he would just go, hello, hello, with every step, and it would be like 3 a.m. We'd be like, whatever. He'd be off like a case of Budweiser.
Well, you know, after I left Quest, Braden, he started working at Papa John's, like the Papa John's close to my house.
That's right,
over there.
yeah.
And so he'd be my delivery driver every once in a while. And one time
God.
he just left one of those like sleeves that you put the pizza in. He's just like, here, take this. I don't want it. He was like, no, just have it.
He used to send us videos of him just destroying Papa John's. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
Yeah, we sidetracked. Yeah, the next phase is beginning of high school, like early high school. So for me, that was my big ska phase. So I'll go ahead and give it to Streetlight Manifesto. Really bad ska phase for a while there. I was still listening to a lot of swoopy haired shit too. So Dance Gavin Dance was a big one at that period. Yeah, I know.
Dude, I hated that.
Lots of
Forever and always.
Here's the thing. This whole thing was going on there for a long
This fool
time.
is acting like he's not still about those two genres of
I'm
music.
1,000% still about it. I still like secretly listen in the corner of my room when it's all dark.
Yeah.
And then, I was really into, I Set My Friends on Fire at the time, I think. So, like, more swoopy haired
Yeah.
shit.
Shit goes. I Set My Friends on Fire dedicated a song to me once at the Dr. Pepper Arena.
What?
Because In Fear and Faith played before them, and I was an asshole kid, by the way. I was like 17.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stand to listen to that fucking guy try to hit the high notes all the set. He was like, he couldn't do it. He couldn't hit the notes. So I found, those like little blue rubber hollow bouncy balls?
Yeah.
I found one of those on the floor, and I threw it just at him, thinking it would just hit him, but it hit him in the face. And he goes, who the fuck did that? And I was like, and so afterwards, I Set My Friends on Fire, went on there like, hey, this goes out to that kid over there that hit the guy in the face with the ball. And I was like, yeah.
What the fuck?
So this is, okay, so early high school, right?
Yeah. Oh, I had a cool one, actually.
What was
I
it?
didn't say. Fear Before the March of Flames. I was really big into them at that point.
Was that was when they were Fear Before, wasn't it?
Yeah. That would have. But I guess that should have been the period before. I guess I was listening to them when they were still Fear Before the March of Flames. That's a cool one.
Mine were I had a really weird period where I started reading like Kurt Cobain's journal and shit, and then I was joining a bunch of like Kurt Cobain like murder conspiracy clubs and shit.
The last time we did this, when he started talking about the Kurt Cobain thing, he was like, I was reading his journal and I was like, I get it,
dude. Literally, if I have that journal and there's parts of it that I've highlighted, it's like, yeah, dude, like that. And I was like fucking 14, as if I knew what the fuck he was talking about. And so I was in a cover band, a Nirvana cover band called the Memoria, which was like one of my first bands that ever played a performance. But so it was pretty much early high school was entirely Nirvana, because I put all the pop punk and all the breakdown shit aside, and I was just, everything was grunge. But then when I started getting into like my sophomore year of high school, that's when I started getting way back into metal, because like that's when like Molly's and stuff started popping and all that. And so I went straight back into As Lay Dying. Every Time I Die. Every Time I Die was a huge one for me. And then fucking like Old Whitechapel. So some cooler ones, but like when he was like, when Phil Bose would be like, there's one he has lines like, eyes are glaring red with the gush of the
ASMR.
Hold on, real quick. Let me type this password because I want to make sure it's still recording. I'm nervous.
All right, I'll do
Here,
it.
you type it in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal. Oh, I almost gave the world your password. All 10 followers, dog.
It's not like I have a fucking super
Oh, yeah, you're going.
Oh god, dude, it would be such bullshit if we've had such a good podcast now. Okay, so
You said you're 3.
I was cool guy and then and
Yeah.
Dead and Divine. Anyway,
There you go, Andrew. Early high school.
Early high school. I was when I first heard Job for a Cowboy, so I was way into
Job for a Cowboy,
Job for a
fuck yeah.
Cowboy.
everyone had the
And
shirt, dude.
Had to have been Whitechapel or Suicide Silence.
That was like what you were about though back then.
Yeah, that was like early high school, and then what else? I don't know.
Oh, what about Molotov Solution or something maybe?
That was a little later.
Yeah, I guess that was later, yeah.
Molotov would have been towards the end of high school,
Yeah.
like sophomore
Well, to redeem
or
myself,
junior, senior.
to redeem myself for all the shitty music that I said earlier, I did listen to like Dillinger during like early high school. So like,
Yeah. Like towards the end of high school, it definitely got like Molotov and Much Older My Bride.
yeah,
Fucking.
what a great
I still
era.
listen to Headshot, dude.
Dude, they just did that headliner tour that they did.
Really?
Yeah,
They're still touring?
Dude, there was like 10 kids a night.
Were y'all like on it?
No, hell no. Would not have done that.
Dope.
We did a tour with Fourth on the Dreams. That was
Really?
shot. Yeah.
It was shot?
It was their Changes 10-year tour.
I would have figured that because I saw them a couple times when Chad came back, whatever his name was,
Yeah.
and I was expecting it to be so good. And, like I saw them a couple times, I was like, this is not what they used to be.
Nah.
Oh well. But okay, so the last phase is late high school into now. So late high school. Actually, I was really into Youth War Kublai Khan, like really big at the end of my high school. Like I listened to that shit constantly. So that's a good one. What else? I always have to say a pop punk band because I was just a fucking pop punk.
Don't you dare ignore Easy Core phase.
No,
there,
I was such a fucking pop punk weeb.
That never got into like easycore pop punk.
Dude, I was about that shit.
Well, I
dude.
was really into like, that weird phase where pop punk was getting more like sad boy shit.
Yeah.
So like Turnover's first EP, I fucking loved Turnover's first EP back then. So I'll give that one to Turnover. Although I still fucking listen to their sound.
I listen to them
so
now.
much. Dude, they're so
their
good
stuff is
Now
incredible.
they're
They're
fucking
amazing
insane.
now. They're
so
fucking so
good.
good. But yeah, Turnover, and then who would be the third one? I don't know. I'll just keep giving it to another like Wheatley band, which is I listen to Elephant Gym still.
Okay, yeah.
They're a band from like Taiwan. They're really good.
Okay.
But they're like jazzy type
I was literally, if you like it and they're from another country, they probably sound like elevator music. And you're like, cool, hey man, check this out. And I'll be like, oh, really? Let's play some elevator music because it's the same.
this out.
Fuck you, it's so good.
Here's some elevator music that sounds like elevator music. Oh, it's unique. Well, let me put it next to some elevator music, and it's still going to sound like elevator
Fuck
music.
you, dude. It's so good. Go, bitch.
All right, so really, like towards the end of this, so I was like, dude, I was about Kid Liberty because I loved.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Kid Liberty.
To be fair,
Dude, Kid Liberty and Kublai Khan kind of go hand in hand though, because for a while they would play every fucking shit.
well, that's because Isaac
See, I
was
didn't get-
drumming in both bands for a while.
I was
too.
still younger, so I didn't get into them until I was out of high school. Cause,
Really?
Yeah, because
Because the time period I'm thinking of like is like 2010, 2011.
When did you graduate high school?
I graduated 2010.
Okay, so
Oh,
I
shit,
graduated
okay, so
2011.
you're my age. I was 2010 also.
Well,
yeah.
I graduated a year early.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was supposed to
always thought I was
graduate
older than you,
2011.
yeah. Okay, so 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 Kid Liberty was, and to be fair, like I know it's cringy looking back, but there was a period of time where like the pizza in my friend's pop punk era was really a thing. Like I fucking hated Man Overboard, but there was what I call the defend pop punk era, and that was going strong. And just because I got it's not like I got into it now. Like I was a part of that when it was happening.
Dude, don't lie. You still listen to all that shit.
Oh no, please,
I
no. I still listen to it. I'm talking about living the life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about being like, like the ones where you're like. The best times I had were at Christian's house, like where you're like telling life stories and shit. But so there was that. I was really into like Kid Liberty. I was still listening to, but I was getting back more into like later on what are the more kind of modern emo bands, which is what you and I started Township over in 2013, and we've just been off and on. But there's one record that has literally like. So they say that like after you turn 23, I'm sure it's different with metal, but after you turn 23, it's really hard to find a new album that just completely moves you. I mean, it's music you make or whatever. It's like a psychological thing. But like 3 years ago or something, or 2 or 3 years ago, I found this band after the record came out like 2014, but I found it late. It was by the Hotelier called Home Like No Place Is There. Dude, if you want a record that will lyrically make you fucking cry, listen to that album. It is such a good record. And then, so it was like Kid Liberty, I would say the Hotelier, and then I'm trying to think what else I still listen to. Fuck.
Wow.
I'm trying to think, even if it's nerdy shit, I can't think of it, because I've really been listening to the same shit, like Taking Back Sunday there, I'll just say that.
Hey, you listen to I Am?
Oh, no, I listen to all my friends' bands. I keep up with y'all. Dude, what if I was just sucking his dick the whole time? Like, I was really into like the Momentum War EP was like really one thing started to change.
About it.
And I really think that I think that they don't get the credit for really starting the dive bomb phase of DFW music.
Oh
and so,
my god!
All right, Andrew.
All right.
Late high school into now.
Late high school into now. That's such a big gap, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I had to give like the big general ones. Like Taking Back Sunday in the Hotel.
Okay,
big chunks of that.
Name some pretty big ones. So Molotov was definitely one of the huge ones.
That was like your shit for a long time.
Yeah, Molotov. It's still one of my favorite like heavy bands. Probably like Despised Icon or A Case of Strain, like a little bit later after that.
Yeah.
And then probably like in the last like 3 years, maybe like Cannibal Corpse has been one of my huge ones.
Hell yeah.
So you had like personally listening, you've been leaning more towards death metal and that since then, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I never until my friends started.
Job for a Cowboy now is the greatest death metal band.
Apparently they have a new side project that's
Serpents of Gnosis.
Is it awesome?
They're signed to our label.
Oh really?
Oh, that's
no way. That's
fucking
awesome. Yeah. That's crazy. That's cool.
They're so fucking good.
I never liked, and again, I have a bias whenever my friends are doing it. I never liked death metal in a pure sense until my friends started making it, and then I started listening to it back. Like I was listening to Obituary, and I was like, dude, Creeping Death takes a lot of not copies them, but they take a lot of like you can hear that influence there. Yeah.
See, I was always so selective with heavy music. Like even when I was younger and like started getting into heavy music, I was so selective with it. And I think like having more friends in bands kind of opened me up to listening to more types of music.
Definitely.
For sure. And don't get me wrong, I'm just picking some of the things I listen to. There's some cringy shit that I like, and that goes across all things.
See, I always have to give out the good cringy shit.
Out the cringy shit.
I'm literally not trying to like, because this is such a general fucking game. I'm not trying to like give like, oh man,
no, you have to start giving crazy ones, because once we start playing this more, you're gonna have to give some of the really crazy shit.
I found a bunch of my old CDs in the back of my car not that long ago. God, I'm just gonna have to go through that. But there are, on a side note, there has been this huge comeback of the type of metalcore that I came up on. Bands that sound like Botch and The Bled and Norma Jean and stuff. Like, dude, like you could literally take Arizona, that Vane record, and you could play it in 2006. You play it in 2005, and it would still make, even in the late 90s, and it would still make sense. I'm like, this is so fucking sick. That record is a huge ass beater. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, we're at like an hour and a half, so I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But Andrew, thanks so much for coming out last minute.
Yeah, man, I know.
It's good to catch up.
Thank you for last minute driving the Coppell off of a drunk
I was sitting there with Amber last night,
the fuck
and like I
Patrick
looked at my
calling me?
phone and it said Patrick Luber. I was like, what the fuck is Patrick calling me at 10 o'clock at night?
I literally would have been like, this is a butt dial, I'm not answering.
I was like, and Amber was like, well, maybe you didn't mean to and call you.
Exactly,
I was like, no, like it's an iPhone. Like, there's no way. Pick my number randomly.
Here's what hands you mean, Christian's doing a podcast. But yeah, no, cool. Man. I really appreciate you being on, man. It's been cool to talk about the show, man, because like, especially with old Quest friends and people that I've known for fucking years and years, there's very little time to catch up. Like I said, I think it's been 3 years since I've seen you. Like I think since that music video was shot, it's been that long.
At least. Because I don't think I've seen you since Quest, which would have been like four plus years
that was 2015 that you and I both left Quest,
Yeah, so, but yeah, it was really great catching up.
Like
it really does. Dude, I looked at a picture of myself from like the end of Quest, and dude, I've aged 20 years.
Death Job will make you age like so.
Dude, I've literally melted like a fucking popsicle and a thing of curdled milk over the past 5 years or so. I'm just like, I'd be like, good, yes.
Dude, I don't think I could ever work like an hourly job.
It's
like
bullshit.
It weighs on you a little bit.
No, it destroys my life. Everything hurts. Do what you're doing until your body falls apart. I want you to go past the dreadlocks phase. I want you, dude, just so you never have to do it, dude, there better be multiple greatest hits albums and everyone.
Dude, if we got to the point where you do a greatest hits, dude.
Oh, dude.
I'd be living.
Dude, please, I want you to pass the dreadlocks phase, have a greatest hits phase. I want it to get to the point where, like where you look like James Hetfield, where you're just like a car.
Oh, dude, can I do like the fade with the spike tail on the front?
Where you're just
like in dad mode. With
just like, oh well, I'm like I mean, like James Hetfield, you see him in like pictures of him from the paparazzi, and he's wearing just like a floral T-shirt and like cargo shorts, but like he still is in fucking Metallica, So I want you to get to that point, because don't let your body rot in an office job. Do you think I give a fuck about marketing? Do you think I give a shit about? Dude, no, I don't care about that. I don't want to sell anybody anything. I'm not a salesman, by the way. Fuck salesmen. I hate salesmen. But sorry, tangent. Do that forever.
Please definitely keep doing it. Keep
soul.
doing what you're doing. Anything to like announce or plug with I Am? You want to shout out like the Twitter or anything like that? Any cool shit?
Oh yeah, I mean, I Am Texas Music. Follow it on anything. Just keep up with the tours. Come out to shows.
You guys are going out in September, right?
Yeah, we got that Despised Icon thing, and then doing some days with No Zodiac to get there. Dope. And then we got a Europe tour we're announcing, and then we got a tour for February.
That's sick.
We're announcing later.
What was I gonna say? It was something. Okay, what was the first thing you said like a moment ago? Because it. Do you have a Twitter personally, right?
Yeah, I don't use it very much.
You better log the fuck on and follow me, dude.
It's at Peel Back the Skin.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
but
sign
I
into
don't
it.
ever use it. No,
sign into it and follow. Oh, is this a live following of Sent to Gladbag? Hold on. I want to hear the ding-a-ling whenever you. All right, we're just gonna wait.
But while they're doing that, definitely go check out I Am. There's very dope music. They're touring. They're being crazy boys, playing some good shit. So very proud of them for killing it.
Was it Glad Scented?
It's Scented Glad.
Oh, Scented Glad.
So, and I guess I'll plug our stuff too. You can follow us at Podpathetic on Twitter. We're Apathetic Podcast everywhere else, on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So you can follow us and share the episode, because this is a fun one. It's good catching up.
Oh, you know what that was? That was a live following of at Sent to Gladbag. And thank you so much for stalling for that weird like 45 seconds.
I definitely had to stall.
Sorry, pressure made you follow me live on the podcast. I guess thank you for letting us talk your ear off. I'm sure we talked about things that you're tired of fucking talking about, but it was good to catch up. So
yeah, it was fun. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, follow, do all that good shit for the podcast, and just definitely hit up I Am. And that's gonna be it.
90 fucking 90, man.
90.